How'd you originally get started in the Amazon space?
We probably launched well over 500 products using the whole rebate
Wow.
method, search, find, buy, rebate, and we had around about a 90% success rate.
Would you see it being more cost effective for an Amazon seller to drive TikTok ads to Amazon or to get started with TikTok Shop?
Are you still you're doing Amazon as well, or you're like fully on TikTok Shop at the moment?
When they don't go viral, they kind of like hurt and upset, like, wow, this product's amazing, why don't we go viral? And the reason they'll go viral is because they're not doing enough sample. So yeah.
That's amazing. So Paul, thanks for coming on. We've been trying to get this together for a little while,
Well, thank you.
and happy we're able
I know, and
to make it.
that's all on me.
Nah, it's all good. Life happens, right?
Yeah, thank you for that. Exactly, so much appreciated. Thanks, man. Good to be here.
Yeah. Glad to have you here. So yeah, let's start by letting everyone know a little bit about you, a little backstory.
Cool. So basically, I'm a long-time Amazon seller. I've been selling on Amazon for well over 10 years. And then I've done everything from being an Amazon software builder to consultants to a seller to launch like 2 different software platforms. Then launched a bunch of communities and stuff. And yeah, it's cool. But now I'm all on TikTok Shop because anything that takes money from Amazon, I'm all for that. So yeah.
That's amazing. Thanks for that. How'd you originally get started in the Amazon space?
So the real reason is, I'm not sure if you remember, but the first proper Amazon selling course was called ASM, Amazing Selling Machine. And I was part of the first cohort.
Oh,
And I had a wedding coming up like in a year later. So I used a portion of my wedding, actually, I used most of my wedding budget to pay for the course and everything. And it just shows that I have a supportive wife because when I told her, she didn't bat her eyes. But now she understands why. Like essentially, like they paid for the wedding, they paid for our life, our kids. So yeah, so it kind of worked out well.
amazing. Glad to hear that. So you mentioned something about software earlier. That's something I didn't know about. What softwares are you involved with or have in the past?
We created Chat, which is kind of like mini chat, but
Mhm.
for both for the Amazon platform. So basically, you could run all your campaigns through Facebook Messenger, and it would message people and so on and so forth, and kind of walk them through the buying process. And it was really effective. We had a few hundred customers. It was awesome until Facebook one day woke up and said, like, not
Sounds
even a
about right.
friendly no, just a hard no. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. Like when we did the all the checks and everything, there was a stupid little like a little checkbox we had to check, and we didn't do it because it was so hard to see. We didn't do it, and then the next few days, actually, like the next few weeks later, Facebook just canned our whole app, and then it would take weeks to get back. And at that point, we would have lost all our clients, everything. It was kind of like the death of our baby. And
Mhm.
yeah, one of those things that happens.
Wow.
Wow.
Was this while you were kind of in the Amazon space or was it something separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's still Amazon space because my whole Amazon experience has been around sending external traffic to
Hmm.
Amazon listings and getting it converts. So the idea with this is during like the rebate period
Hmm.
when rebates were allowed on Amazon, and basically the app would walk all the potential buyers through the buying process and basically just help them walking through everything, and it worked really well. Like we even had like the scanner, so like when they actually buy the product on Amazon and they're sending a screenshot or scan that screenshot to say, okay, this is a legit buyer, because we had loads of people trying to scam us, and it worked really well, really well. But then Facebook just said no, a hard no.
Yeah, sounds like Facebook, Apple, any platform. Feel like
Yeah,
you can only go so far for so long before someone says no. I'm not giving you permission to X, Y, Z.
exactly that. And my biggest problem is that I've been on Amazon for over 10 years, and we all know Amazon, it's a love and hate relationship. So then when I tried Facebook, I thought, okay, great, I'm tired of building my business on someone else's real estate. So I moved from Amazon to Facebook, and then Facebook said no. And then years later, I made the transition to TikTok Shop, which essentially I'm just kind of like building always on someone else's real estate. So I want to say I learned, but I don't.
Listen, you gotta keep evolving and going with it, and
Exactly.
Go where the noise is.
I mean, I'd love to dive into TikTok Shop, but before we get into that, I just want to know. I know you had worked at an agency prior, and or sorry, at an aggregator.
We're with an
Yeah, with
aggregator.
an aggregator, and you also have Rankster. So, kind of talk to me a bit about the ups and downs that you learned with this aggregator, kind of how that led to Rankster and all of that good stuff.
So what happened was, this is kind of like during the rebate era, and we used actually Rankster used to be a rebate platform, and we were, not to sound arrogant, we were incredibly effective. We probably launched well over 500 products using the whole rebate
Wow.
method, search, find, buy, rebates, and we had around about a 90% success rate. So if you launched or relaunched your product using us, because we had the software, everything would actually walk through the buyer through the process using our software. And it was nice because it was fresh new buyers. It wasn't just repeat old buyers that
Mhm.
are recycled buyers. So it worked really, really well, and we were able to rank just tons of products. The problem was then I kind of knew that eventually Amazon would take away rebates, take away search, fund, buy, everything. And then what happened was during that stage, a lot of my clients that I helped personally were selling up and were selling up to a lot of the aggregators, and they were making their retirement money. And
Mhm.
it annoyed the hell out of me because I helped them grow their brands, and now they essentially don't need to work for the rest of their life. So a lot of these of my clients sold up to an aggregator, and then they actually said to the aggregator, "You actually need to hire someone, hire Paul." So then this aggregator then contacted me and said, "Paul, we want you to work for us." And I said, "Cool," because in the back of my mind, I was employee number 14, 1 4. So I was part of like the C-level suite,
Mhm.
and I thought, great. And like in the back of my mind, I get to manage that's like a few dozen Amazon brands, and like that's really fun. It
Mhm.
really is.
Mhm.
Like I just wanted to put my footprints on those products,
Mhm.
and it was really good. Until when I realized the main thing is they promised me a low salary but high equity, and that was the main thing because when they go public, that equity would be my kids' retirement fund
Mhm.
essentially.
Mhm.
So that was the goal. So then when I joined them, on the first day, I thought, okay, cool. I'm around some really incredibly intelligent people that were I understand this, and these are former Amazonians,
Mhm.
and they knew a lot of stuff. But I was the only person with any actual Amazon experience, and they scaled from 14 employees, 1 4, I was number 14, from 14 to 120
Wow.
employees in the space of 6 months. And of those 120, I was the only person that had any Amazon experience. I was just mad.
Wow.
I even created a course to teach people how to do their job. And when someone has an MBA, they don't appreciate that, but
Mhm.
they didn't know what they were doing. They could create some really awesome spreadsheets, some really cool pivot tables, but that's as far as it would go. They didn't actually know how to sell on Amazon. And like the best spreadsheet pivot table is great until Amazon says no. So that was the main thing. So then I worked there for about 6 to 8 months, and coincidentally, on the day I left was the day they announced they were foreclosing. They're one of the first aggregators to announce they were closing, and it was just by pure coincidence that I said that I left at the same time. And I essentially over 6 months, I watched them burn 250 million euro and for nothing. All the
Wow.
brands that took on just kind of bombed really, really hard,
Jeez.
and then they got absorbed by the other aggregators, and then the aggregator that absorbed them then got absorbed by another aggregator, and
Mhm.
like it was just crazy. It really was. But the main thing is that when I was with them, they purchased the software, and they wouldn't tell me how much the software cost because they were too embarrassed. And what was really interesting was that the software would measure the verticals across every brand, across Walmart, Amazon, social signals on Facebook, and measure absolutely everything.
Okay.
So when there was a sales peak or drop, the software would tell you why, analyzing all the data. And every time I ran a TikTok ad campaign or just a TikTok campaign in general, we would see a spark in the sales. Not huge, just a minor spark. And for me as an Amazon seller, you know when you know.
Hmm.
Like like what's happening over here. And I said to them, guys, this is happening because of TikTok. The fact that the software can't see that it's TikTok, and that was a big factor, is that the software couldn't tell why there was an increase in sales, but it's because of the TikTok campaigns. And I said to them, guys, like, listen, this is happening because of TikTok. So, in my honest opinion, go all in on TikTok because it's the next big thing,
Hmm.
especially for e-commerce. And they said, no, Paul, we won't do that. We can't rely on TikTok. It's not going to work. So when I left there, I made it my goal I took Rankster and made it into a TikTok shop or just a general TikTok service with the aim to rub salt in the wound, saying I was right, they were wrong. And I am right and they are wrong. But no one's around anymore to kind of like brag to.
Hmm.
So like it's kind of like bittersweet because I know I'm right and I proved I was right, but there's no one around to kind of like say I'm right too, and kind of took the wind out my sails because I was enjoying that.
Hmm.
I really was looking forward to saying I'm right, you're wrong, but they're not around anymore, so we can't do that.
Wow, that's incredible. And that software, is it something you still kind of use or made your own version of? Because nowadays, as I'm sure you know, it's so hard to kind of
Mm.
track. Well, it's getting easier with time, but it's still kind of hard to see your TikTok efforts and how they impact Amazon directly.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if that software is still working as part of the aggregator.
Hmm.
They closed down. I'm assuming it was absorbed by someone else. But also the main thing was it was a lot of workload to actually integrate it to all the brands. I
Hmm.
mean, across every brand, it would need to be in every sales channel from Facebook to Walmart to Amazon to everything.
Okay,
So I doubt it's still running only because of the workload it required.
gotcha. Cool. That's an insane story, though.
All right, and also one thing I have to say this because it makes me
Go
laugh
ahead.
to this day. There was a meeting, like an all hands meeting. The
Hmm.
whole company was on either in person or on a Zoom call, and they said, "Paul, we have a new product. We need you to launch." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, let's make it happen. I'll launch products like that's easy for me." And
Hmm.
they said, "Paul, it is a kettlebell. It is $200, even though the average price is $100, but it's a $200 kettlebell, and it's FBM and no reviews. So FBM, no reviews, double the price of the nearest competitor." And then I said, "Paul, we need you to launch it at 10% ACOS." And when they said that to me, I just packed up laughing. I'm saying, guys, we can't do this. Like maybe I think a win would be 100% ACOS, especially as it's FBM, no
Hmm.
reviews
Hmm.
and overpriced. And then they took me away to like a Zoom breakout room, which I never even knew existed, but there were Zoom breakout rooms. And they said to me, Paul, like, that was really offensive what you did. I'm like, what did I do? Like, I just told you what you need to hear. And they said, Paul, listen, all you need to do is go into the PPC ads dashboard and then click on the ACOS button and
Oh
make it
god.
10%.
Oh my god.
And I never knew there was an ACOS button. And like at that point I was like, wow, I gave up everything to join you guys. Like in
Yeah.
the back of my head, I was thinking this.
Yeah.
I gave up everything to join you guys. Like, and you telling me there's an ACOS button? And yeah, it wasn't a good look for them. And on paper, I was the dumbest guy in the room because everyone had super high powered degrees and qualifications. Like, when someone says to you their name and then they include so many like vowels after
Yeah.
Yeah,
that,
Yeah. Yeah.
accentuating all their degrees. Yeah, it was that type of room. And
Yeah.
it just said me, Paul. And they didn't say like all these names and everything. And yes, and they told me there was an ACOS button. This is a former Amazonian who worked at Amazon who said he knew his stuff, but
Wow.
not so.
Wow. That
No,
is.
that's funny. It makes me laugh sometimes when you have someone that seems so certain that they know what they're talking
Yeah,
about. And it happens with us when we um deal with certain brands who say, "Oh no, we have like our in-house Amazon team or our in-house Amazon person," and we get on a call with them and we see they don't know much about Amazon, and
they know nothing.
it's
Yeah,
funny. It's really funny. People think, "Oh no, we have that covered." We have a department for it. Your department is three people that upload catalogs and don't know what they're doing on the ad side of things. But no, it's
And
a funny.
next thing you know, there's all their budget and auto campaign, all kinds of bleeding, nothing going on, like being taken care of on, the bidding side. So yeah, it's just funny. But they're certain that
It's
they're right.
crazy, it
Yeah.
really is, but
Yeah.
it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like someone says to me, "Oh, like we know Amazon. Do you?" I
Yeah.
say to everyone now, like, "Okay, you know Amazon. Like, let's like." Anyway, as well as I do. Like within 10 minutes of talking to someone, you know whether they
Yeah,
know
Oh
Amazon.
yeah.
yeah.
And I hate to be that person, but you need to be, because a lot of people will just promise the world to you.
Mm-hmm.
For sure,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah. Now to go into, because I know way back when we had worked together for TikTok ads to redirect to Amazon. So talk to me about, would you see it being more cost effective for an Amazon seller to drive TikTok ads to Amazon or to get started with TikTok Shop?
So that's a very good question, and the reason it is because about 2 weeks back, I'm sure you're aware. 2 weeks back, Amazon announced that partnership with TikTok, where you
Mm-hmm.
can advertise Amazon products on TikTok, and I hope it works,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not holding my breath. And the reason being is that I've run personally probably about 300 to 400 TikTok campaigns that push traffic from TikTok to the Amazon listing through the ad campaigns. I'm not like relying on organic,
Mm-hmm.
straight up paid strategies. So I did 300 to 400 campaigns, and each and every time it doesn't work. Like it does work, but you have to kind of zoom out and take a bird's eye view approach,
Mm-hmm.
because when you try and look at it at a granular level, it doesn't work. The main thing is attribution, Amazon attribution. If it worked, I have my life would be so easy, but it doesn't work. Like for example, we had one listing, we sent 10,000 clicks from TikTok to the Amazon listing, and these are deep link clicks.
Mm-hmm.
A deep link basically forces the app to open, not their mobile browser. So if it opens up the app, they're already logged in or load up the product, so on and so forth there. But if it loads up the mobile browser, most users aren't logged in, and you're gonna lose like the link and the traffic and so on and so forth. So these link clicks did work. I confirmed it. So we sent 10,000 deep link clicks over a 4-week period to this product. This product had a 15% conversion rate, and all the link clicks went through Amazon attribution, yet not a single sale was registered in
Wow.
attribution, which is weird because the users saw the product on TikTok and then clicked. So they're already like pre-sold,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't see any sales, non-attribution. However, that 4-week sales period was the best sales period to date for the brand. The brand came back and said, Paul, like our sales are increasing, but we don't know how or why. We can't actually measure it.
Mm-hmm.
And the main thing is because they're relying on attribution. Like every Amazon seller, but attribution doesn't work, especially, in my opinion. Attribution does work, but when TikTok is involved, attribution doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And when I spoke to Amazon about this, there's a team in Amazon. They focus on external launches for new brands, the kind of brands that have a few million in the bank to spend on launches. And I said to them, guys, here's all my TikTok ad data, here's all my Amazon data, but the two don't correlate.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with that?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, as I said that, I could hear they were making quite uneasy. And they said, Paul, we cannot answer that question because it's confidential. We cannot discuss anymore. Goodbye, and hang up. And that was it. And
Wow.
I was kind of annoyed at first because I had a good question. I prepared for this call,
Yeah.
but then I realized that actually I was asking the right question because I made them so nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I have a lot of not concerns. I have a lot of trepidations just about this partnership with Amazon and TikTok, because I don't think Amazon will share everything with TikTok.
Right.
Maybe they will, and if they do, it's great for us. But I know a lot of brands are waiting for this, and I think this whole partnership will let everyone down,
Mm-hmm.
because it may work, but then what metrics are relying on, that type of stuff, things like that. I want it to work, but I just I have no confidence that it actually will work.
It's true
But
that
I'm hoping it will.
yeah, there's a lot of unknown, like it sounds great in theory, but
Mm.
like you just said, like that gap of the Amazon data and what you're seeing through your deep links, there's an in between that doesn't match, and without that being solved, how is this whole deal gonna kind of go through?
Exactly that.
Yeah, and I'm on the same page as you in the sense that all the conversations I've had with people regarding Amazon and TikTok, and everyone's like all excited, and I'm like, there's no way, like, there's no way
Yeah,
that they're
exactly.
just gonna share all this data. Like, I don't know, like, but then there's the other argument I'm getting is they're really scared of this TikTok shop thing that's growing. So maybe this is them like nipping it and okay, fine, we'll do this. We'll do something we've never done before because we think that the alternative won't help us. So I don't know.
Mm.
There's two sides to the coin, but I mean, I don't know. I also have a hard time believing that it's gonna work, to be
And
honest.
also, one thing I found interesting is that with TikTok Shop, about a month ago, they released the GMV Max
Mm-hmm.
ads.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, how it is that TikTok Shop will create your ad campaigns using their AI. And basically, what it does is it looks at all the content for the brand, or the affiliate content, or the content's own, or the brand's own content, or their lives, looks at absolutely everything. And it answers the buyer intent. So let's say you sell a baby blanket and someone types into TikTok because that's the new trend. You
Mm-hmm.
type in TikTok what you question you want, and it serves up the answers. And then they type in something like, how can I get my newborn to sleep through the night? Maybe you created a video 2 years back that answers that question. These Max GMV ads will show that video to answer that question to the buyer.
Wow.
However, if you ran your own ads manually, there's no way you would promote a video that was 2 years old,
Mm-hmm.
but it works. And I'm embarrassed to admit this, especially as I've done hundreds of TikTok campaigns. But the main thing is that I've had my own campaigns alongside their campaigns, Max GMV ads, and each and every single time it outperforms me. Like I had one client
Oh.
had 6x ROI on my ads, and then when I started these Max GMV ads, it had 10x ROI.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things. It really is. So,
Wow.
in my honest opinion, I don't think you need to be a media buyer anymore. What you need to do is just supply great content to these Max GMV ads so they can perform better. And that essentially now is how the world is changing from a media buyer to running ads. You don't need to run ads anymore because these Max GMV ads, all you really do is just set your ROI and set your daily budget, and that's it. And does the rest.
Mm-hmm. And is this at the account level
So
or at the
the
product
client
level?
level, yes.
Okay.
The client level.
Okay.
You can select products, but like if you select the product and select certain videos, you're cutting off a lot of videos.
Like you were just saying.
So if it works well, but yeah. And also the one big thing about this is that my biggest annoyance is that you can see the sales, you can see the ROI from these campaigns, but does not tell you which videos actually perform. So like that's annoying because if you want to double down on what works, you don't know what to double down on.
Right.
Really?
That's the biggest pain point, but it still works.
Yeah. Interesting.
And interesting that when TikTok made this rule change, when it made this feature update, then came the announcement between Amazon and TikTok. So I think Amazon are very aware of what's happening with TikTok Shop, and they want to piece it apart. But also, that requires TikTok Shop kind of like releasing all that data to Amazon, and I just don't feel the two platforms will play well together.
That's what I'm saying. Amazon's notorious for not sharing anything, and then why would TikTok?
Anything.
And TikTok is on this like gold mine right now with these Max GMV ads, and they have that the secret sauce. So why would they share that? So I mean, unless they're both really getting into bed with each other and sharing everything, which I don't see happening, there has to be something. There's no way they would come up with this agreement and still withhold information from each other, because the only way this works is if they share. So I don't know. It's tricky. Maybe there's something we don't know. I mean, there's definitely things we don't know, but it's only a matter of time before it comes to fruition and we see what's what. But yeah, so moving on to a little bit more TikTok Shop, because that's the new hot topic. Well, first of all,
it's a new shiny object.
Yeah, it's a new shiny object, but it's some people don't think it's gonna last. There's all this talk with TikTok and in the US, but I think it's just noise and it's here to stay. I think they've proven themselves. So first of all, you're doing Amazon as well, or you're like fully on TikTok Shop at the moment?
Personally, on my own side, I'm fully on TikTok Shop. Like even my daughter who's 10, I set her up as a TikTok Shop affiliate, and the reason is I want her to pay rent. That's the main reason. She's only
Wow.
10, but I want her to pay rent. It's never too early to start. And
Mhm.
like in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, who could say no to a pretty young girl that's 10?
Mhm.
Like, whereas everyone would say no to me, I have that type of face that people would say no to, but not to a young girl. So
Mhm.
That's so
my
funny.
idea is to try and get everyone try and get her to just, and also the other thing is I'm getting her to be an affiliate, and then I want them to then have a garage sale selling all the samples we get. So we
Wow.
make money twice.
Wow.
And
So she pays rent
I'm
and for
trying
the
to
next
get the
vacation.
10-year-old to understand that.
Yeah.
Pretty much exactly that. And as I say this only because I deal with a lot of TikTok shop affiliates, and it annoys me when they're making like 100K a month
Mhm.
from their affiliate income.
That's
And
crazy.
I'm like, you're not that smart. I feel we could do a better job, but any one of those things.
Wow.
That's
No,
funny.
that's really, really cool. So like agency side, you're strictly TikTok Shop at the moment?
I'm strictly TikTok, but a
Okay.
TikTok shop and TikTok for Amazon.
Okay.
So we basically flood your listings with a lot of TikTok traffic. I always do warn everyone, but we can do that and it works. I always see a sales increase, but if you rely on attribution, it doesn't look as if it works. So you have to really have a bird's eye view approach. So
Mhm.
saying, look at the Amazon search terms, look at the traffic, the sessions, pages, all that stuff, then it works.
Mhm.
If you look at all those metrics and take a bird's eye view approach, it's more macro, not micro.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
perfect. So, I know there's like restrictions for new brands because all of these affiliates are getting flooded with brands that want to work with them. So what are some approaches or, tactics that you're taking to do outreach, maybe off platform?
So basically, what happened was is that everyone was spamming these affiliates because once you have a TikTok shop, you have access to the TikTok shop affiliate database. And there are 170,000 affiliates on the platform. It will only show you 400 at a time. But what a lot of users were doing, they were brand new on TikTok shop and they were sending a few thousand messages per day to the affiliates, and the affiliates were just being spammed with loads of messages. And it wasn't good products. It was typical like Temu, Sheen
Mhm.
style products. And what happened then, the affiliates just stopped responding to messages because they got so many messages. I know a lot of affiliates, they actually hire a VA just to manage
Wow.
their
Hmm.
inbox and pick everything appropriately. So TikTok made the rule, there's 3 tiers. Whereas if you tier 1, you can message 50 creators, 50 affiliates per week that have below 25,000. And then tier 2 is 500 and unlimited follower size. Then tier 3, unlimited everything. So you can contact as many as you want, and so on and so forth. The thing is that TikTok measures your previous week's sales. So the sales for the previous 7 days. And if it's over 1,500, you can contact as many as you want. That's tier 3. If you don't make any sales, you're down to tier 1. We're going to contact 50 affiliates and they have 25K followers or less. I think the tier 2, I think, is over $500. I could be wrong, but essentially that is it. So it keeps the riffraff out because there are a lot of drop shippers that try and use TikTok Shop, and their
Mhm.
strategy is just spam the affiliates. Now they can't do it anymore. And now the affiliates actually do respond because they're not being hit with so many messages.
And what kind of strategy would you say do you kind of utilize? Maybe it's like personalized messaging, or maybe do you have like WhatsApp groups, or kind of walk me through what strategy or what you're seeing works from that.
So basically, there are 3 ways I use to contact affiliates. The first one is send them a message on the TikTok job platform.
Hmm.
That's what everyone uses. So it's the least effective, but I still use it.
Hmm.
That's the first one. The second option is to email them. And what I do is I look for all the affiliates that have an email address in their profile, and then I contact them and send them an email, like a normal cold email outreach.
Mm-hmm.
And the third option is I message them from TikTok profile to TikTok profile. So what's interesting is that all the affiliate messages go into one like inbox, and then all the messages from TikTok profiles go into another inbox.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of affiliates said they get hundreds of messages per week from affiliate or from the affiliate system, but maybe they get a handful of messages from TikTok profiles.
Mm.
So we reach out to them on their profile and email and the TikTok database, and we're building our own database alongside that. And the aim is to contact as many as possible. Our average brands, we have a team of about 15 to 20 that do all the outreach, and it's a lot of outreach where they just get ghosted a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say 90% of the affiliates don't respond. That's because they get so many messages every day, all day.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting strategy. And more of a fun kind of question I like to ask people is, other than your typical supplement brand or cosmetic brand, what, funky or crazy product that you wouldn't have thought worked is working on TikTok that you've seen or that you're working with currently?
So whenever someone asks me, Paul, will my product work on TikTok? I always say now, I don't know. I really don't know. And the reason I don't know is because TikTok is such a weird platform.
Mm-hmm.
I had one client, they really wanted to work, and they sell sunflower seeds. And I thought, this won't work.
Mm-hmm.
But they sell sunflower seeds where it's $200 for a pack of seeds. I don't know why,
Wow.
but that's where the cost is. And then when we started running the TikTok shop sales, people were buying it. They were spending $200 buying a pack of seeds.
What?
And in my opinion, they're spending $200 to buy like dirt, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have said, I said to the brand, listen, like, I don't think this will work, but it's working. So for every brand, you have to give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. You don't know what will when work, so give it a try and then see the strategy from there.
Wow, that's insane. Now, from more of a mistakes kind of perspective, what would you say is kind of a common mistake that sellers are making on TikTok Shop, or that are leaving money on the table or overspending, etc.?
So the biggest problem I see, and it's typical in the Amazon world,
Mm-hmm.
in the Amazon world, our inventory is our lifeline, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And on TikTok Shop, the best success a brand can have is by sending 500 samples to affiliates per month. That's 500 samples with shipping. It's not cheap. And the reason behind that is because TikTok right now is a quantity game. The more quantity, the more content you have, the better your chance of success.
Mm-hmm.
But with a lot of Amazon brands, the problem with Amazon brands is that every Amazon seller knows someone that's gone viral, but no one knows a single seller that's gone viral twice. And that should tell you everything you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is, a lot of sellers say, okay, cool, we're going to start on TikTok. And they assume that they're going to go viral, especially as the average seller loves their product. They really do. So when they don't go viral, they kind of like hurt and upset, like, wow, this product's amazing. Why aren't we going viral? And the reason they'll go viral is because they're not doing enough samples. They really aren't. By committing maybe like 50 to 100 samples a month is just not enough. You need to do as many as possible because, again, TikTok is a quantity game. The more content you have, the better your chances of success. And it's wise for every brand to push that. But a lot of Amazon brands, understandably, don't have the budget, but they still want to try. And unless you have the budget to do that many samples per month, don't try because you're just wasting your own time and your samples.
Got it. And for more of a, budget friendly approach, like how would you kind of go, say you're an Amazon seller trying to get onto TikTok Shop, how would you kind of go with like a launch strategy to start getting into TikTok Shop?
So with TikTok Shop, that's the 80-20 rule,
Mm-hmm.
where the best two tasks on TikTok Shop are affiliate outreach and ads. Now, affiliate outreach, you need to commit to, I would say to every brand, commit to at least 500 samples per month. And that's samples with shipping. So please make sure every seller understands that's not just the sample cost, the COGS, it's the shipping of the sample as well, which often the shipping is more expensive than the sample. But that's the main thing. Push to get 500 samples per month. And then the next part is, as soon as you're getting 500 videos per month, use those videos inside your max GMV ads, because max GMV ads perform really well if it has content. So the fact that you continually feeding it content, you will see the best success from that. So essentially, step one is do 500 samples per month. Step two, take all that content and use it through max GMV. And that, if you do that, that's better than 80% of what sellers are doing on TikTok Shop.
That's an insane strategy. I love it. That sounds great.
Yeah, sounds pretty simple. It's like nothing, because everyone's getting.
It is pretty simple.
There's nothing.
The problem is that although it's simple, it requires a lot of spoon feeding each other, so the seller understands exactly what's in content. And also, a lot of sellers give up after the first month. Now that's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, because let's say you give away 500 samples this month, then next month we can improve on that content, get better results, because those first 500 is kind of like the benchmark, and then increase from there, increase the conversion rate, increase the sales, so on and so forth. But a lot of brands give up after the first month, and by doing that, they shoot themselves in the foot. I say to every brand, give it at least 3 months, because then there's 1,500 posts about your brand, and it's posts from affiliates, not influencers. And affiliates know how to sell, whereas influencers know how to look pretty. I say that, it's hard. People don't like when I say that, but it's true.
Yeah,
really
it's so true. Yeah.
And also, if you have 1,500 posts, you can use those 1,500 posts, just download all of them and upload them to Amazon posts. That's the best strategy you can do. And a lot of people will say, oh no, Paul, we need to pay the affiliates for the content. Absolutely, you should do. But I'm not going to pay 1,500, the very got the sample. If the content performs really well, then I will. Give them upfront payments or get them to create more content, so on and so forth. But right now, 1,500 posts will be gold for Amazon posts. And also 1,500 posts creates a big spillover from TikTok straight to Amazon.
You just reminded me of something. So for max GMV, let's say, it takes content that affiliates have posted about you and takes that into consideration. Okay, so it's not like you uploading content for them to run. They're just running ads on all your content.
Yes.
That is okay. So that's how you don't know
what's. It's a very easy, streamlined process.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's how you don't know what performs, because they're just taking whatever's already there and showing it in front. Okay, I understand. That's frustrating.
And
that you're not able to
so what you can see is you can check all the analytics of the affiliates to see which affiliates are actually doing well. And we have some affiliates that they made like a few hundred sales, $300 in sales as they create the post, but then Max GMV carried on pushing their content, and now they've made between 5 and 6K in total sales. And that's because of Max GMV. It's really good as it pushes out so much content.
So I guess a way to track what creatives did well is to see which affiliates did well, and then look at the content that they posted. I guess that's the way around seeing what worked.
That is the best strategy. The problem is with TikTok is that there are no reliable TikTok analytic tracking tools. So like I know with Amazon, there are so many software solutions that tell you exactly how much you're earning, how much your sales were, it takes away your COGS, everything is really good. But there's nothing on TikTok. And the reason being is because TikTok shop is only like 9 months old. They're still trying to figure out all this stuff. Like, for example, I had one brand, they do $500,000 per month on TikTok shop. And they know TikTok higher ups quite well. And they said, guys, like, why aren't all the discounts being shown on our dashboard? So it shows the gross price, not the actual price. And when you're doing 500K per month sales, by not showing the discounted price, by just showing the gross value, that's a big chunk of change.
Yeah, Absolutely. Wow.
I never thought of it, especially at a big scale. Like it makes a much bigger difference for a brand like that.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, like a lot of brands don't think about that. And I have a lot of brands that work with me and they give up after the first month because they can't afford the samples because they did not budget for the shipping of the samples. A lot of brands use Amazon MCF to
Mm-hmm.
fulfill those sample requests, but Amazon MCF is probably one of the most expensive shipping rates. It's far cheaper to do 3PL. And every brand should actually start with MCF until they have a 3PL sorted and then ship from a 3PL or ship directly into TikTok, into fulfilled by TikTok, FBT, with a carbon copy of FBA. But yeah, there's tons of things around that.
Cool. Thanks for that. Usually, how we like to end off, each podcast is kind of asking the guests, more of a personal question, which would be, what would you give advice to your past self, your present self, and your future self? So, what like kind of fortune cookie advice would you give your future self, your present self, and your past self?
My past self, I would say, build a brand because every time I sold on Amazon or every time I sold on Amazon, I would just launch anything and I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't actually build a brand. I would just see what's trending right now and just ship it from China. And so the main thing is, but all the people that sold their business, they had a good brand. I never had a brand. I just had random products that sold well,
Mm-hmm.
but there was no brand there. So past self, I would say just build a brand properly. And also past self, I would say always bet on Amazon.
Hmm.
Like over 10 years, like anyone that's bet against Amazon has come off short. So Amazon will always work. As much as I have a love-hate relationship with Amazon, I still won't bet against it. It will always work. And for future self, I would say just stop trying to do so many things and focus on one thing. And that's the story of my life.
Love
Wow.
it.
Yeah. No,
Love
that's
it.
that's really good advice. That's really good advice. Paul, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I know you're a busy guy and busy trying to teach your daughter how to become a TikTok affiliate. So appreciate you hopping on here.
I want my rent money.
Great having you on here and looking forward to connecting in the future.
Guys, that was awesome. Thanks again. Thanks for having me here. You guys are awesome. Keep it up.
Awesome.
Take
Appreciate it,
care.
man.